This is Anne-Marie from Living Love Consciously. I hope you're doing really well. So in this conversation, I'm going to look at my phone because I wrote notes so I don't go on and pivot into a whole different types of conversation and topics. So I'm going to look at my phone, and today we are going to talk about forgiveness. I don't know if I've already done a video about this, but I think these are things or ideas that can come back repeatedly, because then I can communicate some new ways of doing something that you might find helpful, and I can share another tidbit of how I incorporate these ideas into my life and try to live love consciously. All right, so forgiveness. And the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what does forgiveness mean? And I know sometimes people can think that forgiveness means that you forget. And for me, I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's important to remember things that hurt you, that put you in a space that makes you feel uncomfortable with someone or yourself, because it reminds you, it's like a learning trigger that reminds you, okay, I don't want to deal with this again. So let me go back into my Rolodex. Oh my God, for people who don't know what a Rolodex is, it's basically a memory card that you used to keep in physical form. Like you could like a contact book in physical form, and you could just like go through it and like find your contacts, and you have like notes about them and so on and so on. So that's what a Rolodex is. So I'm giving up my age. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Anyway, so, and then you can just go back as like a historical account of what happened. So you can be like, oh, okay, this happened. I did not like it. I don't want to happen again. And these are the tools that I have in my toolbox to overcome them and to not get caught up in the same cycle again. So that's why it's important. That's what forgiveness means. It means to the ability to let go and not allow whatever that ill that occurred between you, yourself, and someone else to sit at your heart space and to turn you into someone that God did not make, that you did not come here to be, or that you are not here to embody. I do not think God wants us to be these hurtful creatures that, I use the word creature, but these helpful humans that hurt each other purposefully. Like sometimes we will hurt each other unknowingly, I think, but sometimes people go out and try to hurt people purposefully. And I don't think that is what we're here to do. So that's why it's important to understand what forgiveness does for you and what it means for you. But in my notes, I wrote, just so I stay on topic, right? Forgiveness does not mean to forget. What it means is the ability to move past the betrayal and hurt of yourself and others. Again, forgiveness does not mean that you forget, but what it does allow you to do is to move past the betrayal and hurt. Okay? Why do we need to forgive? In my notes, we forgive so that we don't get more sick than necessary. Because like we're humans, we have this human body, right? You get like bacterial infections, you get viral infections, people get cancer, you can get all sorts of sickness. And for me, it's like, if I need to forgive someone so I don't allow more stress into my body, so I don't allow my body to be more vulnerable to bacteria, to viruses, to all sorts of things that are constantly, entering my body, and to allow my cellular environment to be as healthy as possible, why not? Because I'm holding on to something that somebody did to me. I'm holding on to something that I possibly did to someone else. And by doing that, I'm just putting more stress on my physical body. So let me go back to my notes. We forgive so we don't get more sick than is necessary. I think holding on to illness, like ill intentions of others, ill intentions of yourself towards you, or just things that make you ill, right? You can get trapped in that energy. That energy can get trapped in your body, resulting in physical pain, resulting in emotional imbalances, resulting in harmful thought forms. And it can go as far as to infect your spirit, making you a bitter human, a person that's hard to communicate with, who believes that pain and suffering is all they deserve. And it can get that way. I've met people that way. I've met people who were so hurt by something that happened to them from another person, right? That they allowed that to infect their heart, and they became hard and bitter. And again, as I mentioned in the beginning, you don't forget, because you need that learning, trigger. I don't know if trigger is the right word, but you need that learning kind of memory, so you can be able to reflect on it and say, hey, this is not something that I want to do again. Like, if you completely forget it, you probably end up repeating the same cycle over and over again, because you don't remember. Like a child burning their hands on a fire. Like, if they forget that a fire can be harmful, they'll probably continuously put their hands at the fire, right? It's because it's like this beautiful flame. It's like warm, and all these like things can come, that positive things that come from a flame, but it can also be hurtful. So you want to remember that you don't want to put your hands directly on the fire. You want to observe from afar and analyze from afar, but you need that memory that, hey, fire burns, baby. Don't do it again. Okay? So back to my notes. How do we forgive? I think we can use many tools to forgive. Writing letters, a journal, recording voice memos, speaking to yourself as the person or the person directly. If you are speaking to yourself directly, you can look into the mirror as you're doing it. You can go do it through visualization. Like, sometimes I'll meditate and I'll visualize the person I'm trying to forgive. I'll visualize myself. I'll put myself in the situation again and act out what I wanted to say, what I should have said, what I could have said, to help mend the situation, so that I didn't leave as a party that felt betrayed, or the person didn't leave as a party that felt betrayed. So those tools can help. Visualization is very powerful. It can trigger like emotional reactions in the moment that help you to release that energy. Excuse me. When you are able to release those energies, you unlock the real you. The you that God gave knowing to. The you where Jesus sits at your heart, instead of pain, resentment, and anger. Not to say that anger doesn't have its place, but it does not need to sit at your heart. It does not need to occupy your heart forever and ever and ever and ever. And, making you a person that's bitter. Your spirit becomes hard and you forget who you are. Like, we are humans trying to live love consciously, trying to be kind to each other, trying to be of service to each other without burning each other, without taking advantage of each other. Because that is a thing. When you are in service, there's always people who want to take advantage of the situation for whatever reason. But you still do your best to be kind, to be helpful, to do something that is an act of kindness, opening the door for someone, smiling at someone, acknowledging someone that they exist, that they're there. There's so many small things that you can do. You don't necessarily have to do the big bang thing all the time, but small gestures really help humanity move that next step, to say to each other, hey, we are living love consciously. We're not here to battle and beat each other down and step on each other to get to the next level. Anyway, I really hope this was helpful to you. Leave me some comments in the chat and let me know how you manage with forgiveness. How do you allow yourself to forgive others and yourself for the betrayals? And the word betrayal, I use it because a lot of times I think when we hold on to things, it's because we feel betrayed. that person did not agree with us, they did not align with us, they did not do what we wanted them to do. Because a lot of times that's what happens. Like, you end up feeling betrayed by someone because they didn't do what you wanted them to do. They didn't react the way you wanted them to react. They didn't show up the way you wanted them to show up. So you feel betrayed and you hold on to that betrayal, and vice versa. I'm sure there are times where I didn't show up the way my friends needed me to show up. I didn't show up the way people wanted me to show up. And there was a sense of betrayal there was a sense of that I betrayed them. And unknowingly, I've hurt people, and I work through that. I've betrayed myself with the decisions that I've made, and I'm working through that. And that is what living love consciously is working through your stuff and just trying to be a good human, basically. And that is what I try to do every day. And these are what these chats are about. I'm not here to be your guru. I'm not here to be some kind of like know-it-all. I'm not here to make predictions about anything. I am here living this human life and trying my best to be a decent human, however that is. But I know what brings that together is love. And I know that love needs to sit at the center of my heart. And that is what's going to guide me. All right? I love you. Take care of yourself. Again, let me know in the comments what you think about forgiveness, how you've done it, and anything that you believe is unforgivable. All right? Take care of yourself. I will talk to you again soon. Bye.